Hi, good evening, everybody. If you're able to see me and hear me, could you please let me know? Hi, good evening, everybody. If you're able to see me and hear me, could you please let me know? Give me, are you able to see me and hear me? Please give me a thumbs up, or could you please note it in the chat that you're able to see me and you're able to hear me? Are you guys hearing me? I'm waiting for somebody to tell me in the chat that they're able to hear me. Did I get a thumbs up? Hello, 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 everyone. Give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear me. Yes, I'm hearing. Okay. Thank you, Kamoy. Kamoy is hearing me. Okay, awesome. Awesome. So today we are going to be talking about mothers, one of the most famous people of all time. We want to talk about mothers today and their significance and the role that mothers play in our lives. I hope that what I have in store for you guys this evening will be of tremendous benefit and that we will come, share together, learn together. If you have a question, you can note it in the comment section and I'll do my best to keep track on them and see if we can answer them together so that we can become better mothers and parents together. Is that all right, everybody? All right. So it's not a specific topic. Why? Because we're going to be talking on a broad scale. So that's why it's chit chat, right? So we're going to be chit chatting a little bit about mothers. I do have a guest this evening that is going to join us soon. As soon as she's able to do so, I'm sure she's going to join us. Okay, my guest for this evening, I have known her for some years. Some good in retrospect, I want to say I've known her for more than 15 years. So I've known her for a long time. She has been an educator for over 20 years. So, if anyone has been an educator for over 20 years, you know that they've been there and done that to some extent. She's an awesome educator, one that ensures her students grasp the lesson that is being taught to them. She has been she has been a good friend of mine for a mighty long time, and she continues to be a good friend. And so I'm just gonna wait for her to join so you're able to see who I'm talking about so that when I tell you a little bit more about her, you're able to identify with whom I speak. Okay, guys, I'm waiting for her to get on. Let's see. I'm just waiting to see when she comes back in. Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
I am good, thanks. And you?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
How has your day been so far? I,
It has been a pretty good one, a really good one. I can't complain.
I suspect that one.
Yeah,
It's good to have you on Beyond here.
good to be here.
Thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
I was just saying to those who are there that I have known you for over 15 years,
Yes,
and we have been good friends since then, and that you have also been an educator for over 20 years. And for somebody to be an educator for over 20 years, it means that they've been there and done that. They know the
uh,
ropes, they know what they're doing.
yes,
And besides that, I know that you have been a mother for quite some years as well. And
that's correct.
I'm not talking about you being a mother biologically,
Right,
but you've been a mother to your nieces and cousins and nephews for quite some
right.
time before you actually was a biological mother.
And to the
And
nation's children as well,
uh,
and to the nation's children.
and to the nation's children, yes. And that is remarkable. That is
Yes,
awesome. And for that I want to say publicly, well done,
yeah. Thank you.
and continue to be the mother that you've always been to not just your immediate children, but to other people's children. And so this evening we want to chit chat about mothers and the important role that mothers play in today's society, and what happens when mothers don't carry out that role that is placed on our shoulders. And specifically, I speak of the role that was given to us by God. Because society gives us a role, or society has a definition as to who a mother should be. But God, who is the creator, he was the first one who gave us the principles of what it is to be a mother, what it is to become a mother, and a mother of love, a mother that is able to influence not just her children, but other children.
Right.
And
I
so
have
as
another
we
thing he said here. Are you able to see me clearly?
I am, you're
Okay, good.
perfect. Now that you move, I'm only able to see your eyes and the top of your head.
Uh, I am actually out. I am not home. And it's any better there?
Yeah, that's looking better. You shouldn't have touched it. Now you're clouding.
Uh, I'm just trying to get a better view.
Okay. I'm still seeing your forehead, just the top of your eyes and your head top. Are you still there? Guys, I don't know if we lost her, but I'm not able to hear anymore. So we're gonna have her go out and come back in and see if that will fix the issue that. Okay. Okay, guys, so we're just gonna give her a few moments to come back in. So this friend that I speak of, I have not told you her name. Her name
Okay.
is Anne Marie Golden Levine.
Yes, I'm back with you.
Okay, thank you for coming back. All right, so we're gonna be talking with Anne Marie Golden
Yes.
Levine this evening, and I'm sure she has some insight for us because she has been a mother and she has been an educator, educating different children. Good evening, Carrie. Good to have you. Good evening, Kamoy. Good to have you. And so, in my preparation for this chit chat, I came across some very interesting quotes that caused me to reflect as to who is a mother, the duties of a mother, and most importantly, how do we fulfill this role God's way? And
Yes.
so one of the first one that I will share with you is said by Shirley Lacey. And she says, mother is a verb. It's something you do, not just who you are. So
Beautiful.
I want you to think about that. And having thought about it, I want you to put your comments in the comment section and let me know what you're thinking about that.
And just to add to that, where she said that mother is a verb, and we're always there, not only for today, not only today being Mother's Day, but mothers
Mhm.
are always there, and their heart is always with their children, and so mother is one who tends to give herself away to our children and to anyone else. So mother is really a selfless person, right? You
Mhm.
open yourself to your children or to whoever who is there to be ready at all times to really accept them, because knowing that you're a mother, you're not only a mother for your child, but you're a mother for somebody else's child. So you will not, see somebody else's child or children going the way that they shouldn't be going. And then, so as I said, it is a verb. You're always there. You're always on the go, preparing and ensuring that everything goes well with your child or with your children. And just to add too, somebody or this quote, it says or having a child is like taking out your heart out of your chest, and just to see it walking around like that, it shows the tenderness and it shows the love. And henceforth, as mothers, you are really protective of your child or children.
Well said. Yes, guys, please to share the live. Please to share the live so that we can have others joining us in this very important conversation. Because I do believe that in order for us to get society back to some sense of what it used to be, where we were able to mother other people's children and not being afraid, then we need to have others join in the conversation. So please share the live. Thank you. And yes, Kamai, I saw your comment. Kamai was saying that she is in full agreement with what Anne Marie has said. And I am also in agreement because when we say that mother is a verb, we're talking about mother when we say it's a verb, we're talking about action. It's an action word. There's no way you can be a mother and there's no action behind it. And so
Beautiful.
mothering comes with action. Being loving, being kind, those are action words. You have to act them out. If you don't, then your child will not know that you love them. Your child will not know that you're kind. And it is in doing those simple acts that we teach these values.
Beautiful.
And so, Mrs. Levine, my first question to you is, what has been the hardest period of motherhood for you, and how did you
All right.
deal with it?
Just to say, for me personally, one of the hardest period was when my, because I'm a mother of two, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
remember my firstborn being sick, just to see she um she had what do you call it now? It's missing me now.
Thyroid, not thyroid,
No, right. She had,
tonsillitis.
no, she had febrile seizure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really, it was quite alarming for me, right? To see the child in my hand and she was like stiffening out and whoa, my God. I was like, oh no, God. I said, Jesus. I shouted out and I called upon the Lord and she was out of it and then she was taken to the hospital. As I said, it was really frightening, and so having to and fro hospital to home, and then that was my first experience. I was wondering, where did I go wrong? Was I doing something wrong? This is happening to me. Is it because I'm a new mother? Am I really handling myself the way I should as a new mother
Mm-hmm.
and all of
Mm-hmm.
that? So having heard other person's experiences, then I realized that these things really happen to you as a mother. So that was really a hard time for me. But
Yes.
God was and still is by my side.
Mm-hmm.
I continue to trust Him, and He has seen me through. So that was really one of the hardest things to watch my child. With that, and then it continues. So we had to take her from one doctor to the other until after a period of time, then it stopped. But having to deal with that, and because even though you're a mother, you're prepared, but when the unexpected happen, and then you really know that, oh my God, I have to depend totally upon you. So that was
Yes.
a really tough period for me, right?
Yes, and I can identify with what you're saying because if any at all you are a loving mother or a kind mother, when your child is sick, you're just at the point and you're saying, God, I would take that sickness right now and thank you for taking it off my child. But it's never that way. The child has to go through the period, and you as a parent has to go through the period with the child. But thankfully for us, we have God on our side
Yes,
who is able to carry us through that period. And when we come out on the other side, we can't but give him the glory and the honor because he has been a good God for us. And he knows when we become new parents or new mothers, he knows. He knows that we're fretful. He knows that we're frightened because we've never experienced this before. And so he's always beside us to usher us to know that it's gonna be okay. But you
and,
just
and,
have
and
to trust the process.
beautiful. And just to add to that too, just to say, you know, sometimes you don't know that you have so much love until you have a
Yes.
child and you see how much you
Yes.
love and you care for that
Yes.
child, and that is just like your heartbeat, and you cannot do without that heartbeat, right? So you just prove your love at that time too.
Yes. Honestly, motherhood is beautiful. And I just
Yes.
want to share this with you that I I did not know that within me there is another part of me to love unconditionally. But it's after having a child I recognize, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yes, so true.
And so, motherhood isn't something that we should take lightly. It is something that we should be
A
grateful
beautiful
for.
gift.
It is something that we need to cherish. And so, thank you for answering my question. Thank you for sharing. Those of us who have any other comments or any other thoughts, please remember to place them in the chat. Share the live, please, so that we can have other people in the conversation. Okay, so let's continue um, on our question. So the next question I have for you is, what is your favorite go-to mom recipe?
And so the favorite, the go-to mom recipe, it is just something quick and easy, right? It is like
Yes,
pumpkin rice with baked beans, something on the go, right? You just and then
yes,
it. So that's our
yes, and in that, you have your starch, you have your protein, you have your fiber. So it covers all the nutritional values that you need to get from your meal. Awesome. So as a busy mom, that's your go-to
it,
recipe.
right. It works and it works well.
Okay, so what is your best advice for moms of little kids?
Mm. To love and to to cherish them and let them feel love, because children, they are little people and they have feelings and they need to be loved and they need to be cared for. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to be there for them at all times and let them know that we love them unconditionally, and we are their guide, we are their protector, but we cannot do it alone, so we need the strength of the Lord to really guide us. So that's my advice to them, to take care of the little one or the little ones that God would have entrusted in your care.
Okay, beautiful. I like that answer. And I just want to add to that by saying that these little minds that we are given. Okay, so I have um Carrie is saying that her favorite go-to mom recipe is baked mac and cheese with sweet potatoes and chicken breast. Okay, you go, girl. That sounds good. That sounds good. Thank you for sharing. One of the thing I want to bring to our attention is that those little minds at that stage, that's when they're most vulnerable, and that's
Right.
because they want to explore, they want to learn everything. And so when you have those little tender minds, that's when I would say some mothers seems to take everything as fun, and they everything is on a joyous ride. But I want to switch the focus to say that when they're that small and you have those little minds, let's remember that that's when we start to train them.
And just to add too, I think it was Aristotle who said that give me a child from zero and I will show you the man. And this is saying
Yes.
to us, it is saying to us that, listen, this little mind that you have given, it is like a little plant that you have to nurture. And
Yes.
whatever way you nurture that plant, that is what you are going to get from the plant. So whatever you
Right.
put in, that is really what you are going to get out, because you cannot get out what you did not put in, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to be careful, because as you have mentioned that sometimes we will do or we will say things, but guess what they learn at that age, this will be embedded in them for a
Yes.
lifetime. We
Yes.
have to be careful of this little plant, or we
Mm.
nurture this little plant. As said,
Mm-hmm.
the seed you sow today, the crop you will reap tomorrow. So what crop
Mm.
do you want to reap tomorrow? Do you want to reap a good crop or a bad crop? Again, it is what you put in, that is what you will get out.
Beautiful, beautifully said. And also, the next thing that we need to remember is that as we train these little minds, there are some of us who are a part of the church, and we know that as a mother or as a family, we did our very best to train these kids the way
Yes.
God direct us. But for some reason, they have walked away. At that point, as a mother, you're going to be worried because you want your child to be under the flock as you are. But you have hope. Why? Because you have taught them God's way.
Right.
And he
And
told
as the
us
scripture,
that when we train them, they might depart, but they'll come
right.
back.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And so we have to take that into consideration. Let's do our part. Let's do the little that God has entrusted in us and see our children to flourish on.
Right.
Okay, so at this juncture, I'm going to share another quote with you. And it says, if I have done anything in life worth attention, I feel sure that I inherited the disposition from my mother. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
That is
Wonderful.
beautiful in itself, but it can only be beautiful when we would have set that right example,
Example.
when we would have
Right.
trained them God's way, not our way, because we're evil, we're corrupt, but God's way.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So let's run on to our next question. And our next question is, what is your best advice for moms during the tough teenage years? What would you advise a mother who is suffering because teenagers are going through identity crisis? They can't find themselves, and every little thing that they hear out there, they're willing to run with it because they're searching, and they sometimes don't even know what it is they're searching for.
You know, we always have spiritual leaders in our society. We always have mentors in our society. And we can look up for mentors in persons who are serving the Lord. And so when we go to those persons, we know that they are firm and, they will stand with us or they will stand with our teenage mothers. So I would advise them to, go to somebody of substance, somebody that you can really, rely on, somebody that would have gone through this and can stand and say, listen, I have gone through it and you can make it through. You can find yourself. So it is good to have persons who are, senior persons to really go to say, I am looking to you for some sort of source. I am looking to you to help me through this, to find myself, to find my identity, to help me through this, to help me through this crisis, because I realize that I cannot go through this by myself or go through this alone. So I am asking you, and persons are always there willing and ready to help you through, but it is just to find the right person to help you through this, and pray to God about this. If you believe in prayer, pray to God about this and he will help and he will see you through. Because we would have seen many of this in our society, and we would have seen persons would have gone through with the help of God or with the help of somebody of substance that they really depended on.
Okay, beautiful, beautifully said. And to add to that too, there is something that I saw you did with Grayson. Um, and that is you found her a or at a very tender age, which is
Yes.
remarkable. And so when you spoke of a mentor, that just came flashing back to me. And that's something that as mothers, we know that we want to be very close to our children. They're very dear to our hearts. But sometimes there are issues that our kids are going to face, and they might not come out front and say, Mom, this is what's happening. But if they had had a mentor who, over the years, they have been building relationships with,
Yes.
then they would be able to go to this mentor and say, X is happening to me. What do I do? And
And
then,
so,
because the mom would have known this mentor, they can come together and they can say, you know what? I think this is what is happening. And so we need to do this. And so you have a support system, not just for your child, but for you as well, that is going to help you to go over these hurdles when our children get to teenage years and they need the help to get on the other side.
beautifully said, beautifully said. And so, I would encourage and I would say that it is, really expedient for persons to get, mentors for their children because as mothers, we realize that we cannot do it alone. And we still have persons in our society that we can trust, that we can depend on. And so when the child knows that he or she has a model, a role model to, or a mentor to really look to, and somebody in society who is of value, then they will say that, this person has been mentoring me. And I want to take a page out of this person's book.
Okay, guys, we have lost her. Sure, she's going to try to join us back. But while we await her joining us back, let's look at another quote. And it says, I think in a lot of ways, unconditional love is a myth. My mom's the only reason I know it's
You hear it?
another one. Unconditional love is. So this person is saying that they thought that unconditional love was a myth, but because her mother showed her unconditional love, she know it's something real.
Yes. So,
Okay, now that we have Mrs. Living back with us, let's let her continue with her thought.
I am actually on the road. I am on my way home. So,
Yeah, you're breaking up. We're not able to hear you anymore. Okay, she's traveling, guys, and because of that, the internet is fluctuating. So we just bear with her and see how best we can finish this chit chat conversation as we talk about moms. Some of us call her mother mom, some say mommy. So that's what we're talking about this evening. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Okay, good. So my
You're
next
not hearing me?
question, yes, I'm hearing you. My next question
Great.
is, what is motherhood really like? Will I, what is motherhood really like for you? And the second part of the question is, have you ever gotten to the point where you're questioning yourself whether or not you're going to be a good mother?
Right. So motherhood for me, it's really a gift. It's really a gift. You know, during motherhood, you will have the thick and thin times, right? You will have
Mm-hmm.
that time, but you know, it is a grave responsibility. It comes with that. Hence, when you're going through your waters or through your thick and thin times, then you just have to talk to God, not to question Him. You know, as I said earlier, I remember when my daughter was sick, and I was wondering if I was really doing a good job as a new mom. And then I realized God answered me. I was really doing a good job as a mother, but it comes with this. It
Yes.
really comes with this. As I said, it's a grave responsibility, and I'm loving it, and it's a gift from God. You know, God have entrusted this to me, and I'm doing my very best.
Beautiful. You know that for me, being a member of the church and becoming a mother, if you weren't close to God then, being a mother would allow you to become closer. And this is my reasoning for saying this is the fact that when you become a new mother, when you become a new mother, there are a lot of things that you will not know. You will not know how to respond to what to do. Like one of the things that I I I struggled with when I became a new mother was the correct time to feed my child. And then when the child wasn't eating as much as I thought he needed to eat, I'm I'm thinking this child is gonna die because he's not eating. But it's only when I found myself praying about these issues, I was led to do research on it. And then I found out that a newborn baby stomach is a little thing like a dime. And it's as they grow that their stomach walls are going to expand. So what he was eating at that time was able to sustain him. And so these are little things that will allow you to become closer with God. Because I believe that He was the one who directed me as I prayed and He saw that I was struggling, direct me to do the research. So I was now more comfortable accepting the amount that he was eating and knowing that that was able to keep him and he was not going to die. Go ahead. Mrs. Levine? Mrs. Levine, I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me? Okay, so it seems like we're having issues again. So let's continue with the conversation. So this is a question for the chat. I want you to answer in the chat this question. For those who are on the chat who are mothers, or even if you're not a mother, do you ever have this thought that if you become a mother, if you would be able to show or to give unconditional love to your child? would you be able to love unconditionally? So that's a question for you in the chat. Okay, we're going to wait. Hopefully, Mrs. Levine will be able to join us back. And until she joins us back, let's look at another question while you think about the question that I asked in the chat. If you're not a mother and you've thought of becoming a mother, have you ever thought about the fact that you'll be able to love your child or your children unconditionally? So while you think about that in the chat, let's answer this one. Um, what if I'm not ready? So you have a couple, they've been married, and they're not ready to have children. What advice would you give to that couple? Okay, so for me, it's gonna be a diverse answer because it depends on economic situation, um, your physical situation, and stuff like those. So if you're a young person, you're married, and you're not ready to have children, I would say off the bat, if you're not ready for children, don't go there. But if it is that you're someone who you have health issues, or you got married very late and the window is closing as it relates to a female, window is closing on having children, I would say find a parenting class. Go find a parenting class. There are many of them online today. Or search out your community for a parenting class. Educate yourself as to becoming the best parent that you're able to become, and go ahead and have your children if that's what you want to do. However, if it is that you're still young and you have some time, I would say wait, get familiar with your partner, and then later down the road you guys can think about having children. And then while you are waiting, you can do some self preparation so that when this occur, it would not take you by surprise. You would not be lost because you would have getting gotten to the point of educating yourself and becoming comfortable with the idea of becoming a mother. Okay, Carrie says she's still listening. She's not able to come in because she's still at work. Okay, Carrie, thank you. And she also says, being the eldest, I watched my mother nurture my brother and sister, and in most cases, I had to help her taking care of them. So, in doing so, Carrie, I would say that you would you would have gotten an hands-on um training as how to become a mother. So you had a foundation set out for you. So with this foundation, I had no doubt that I would be a great mom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Carrie. Okay, so thank you for sharing. Let's continue with the conversation. It seems Mrs. Levine is still not able to join us back. as yet. Not sure if she will be able to do so, but let's continue with the conversation until she's able to join us back if she's able to. All right. Let's talk about what is the best part of motherhood. What is the best part of motherhood? What would you say is the best part of motherhood for you? I'm going to give you my answer and then you can share yours in the chat. So, for me, the best part of motherhood is loving and caring. That responsibility that you get to care for another human being, to nourish another human being, it is a fabulous task that we have been given. And for me, that's the best part of motherhood, caring, caring for my child, loving him unconditionally. You know, growing up, our parents was harsh and rough, and they, for somewhat, didn't know better. But today we know better, and so you don't have to be harsh in making sure that your child or children understand what you're saying. But as mothers, God give us this tender love, this tender nurturing side of us, that even when the fathers are not able to get through to the children or the child, the mother does it in a way and get through to the child that is just phenomenal. And so that's the best part of motherhood for me. Let me see. Mrs. Levine is trying to come back on. Let's see if she's able to join us. And then ask her the same question. What is the best part of motherhood for you? Just giving her a few. Tried to come on, but I saw it late, so let's see if she's gonna be able to come back on. And then if she's able to, then we'll just take her. So let me share with you another quote. And it says, "Mother's love is the fuel that enables a normal human being to do the impossible." So, I don't know about you, but what I know is, or what I've observed from on the outside looking in at numerous families that I've known, is children who have their mothers and fathers, and specifically their mothers who are propelling them. I don't know if you've ever gone to sports day with your children and you've seen children participating in the race, and whenever parents see their children in the race, and they would go out and they're cheering and they're cheering and they're cheering for their children. And when the children hears their mother's voice, it gives them a push, and they're pushing and they're pushing and they're running with everything they've got, and they're getting to the finish line. It's a beautiful scenery. I've never experienced that, but I can only talk about it because I've seen what it did for other children, hearing their voice when mommy says, John, run, and John is running, running, running with all their might. That's the power that a mother has for her children. And so I'm going to implore us this evening, don't take it lightly. Be the best mother that you ever can be to your children. Love them. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you are with them and you want to see them succeed. You want the best for them. And the only reason why you're teaching them the way that you're teaching them, the only reason why you expose them to some stuff is the fact that you're trying to set that foundation for them that they will be successful on. All right. Okay, guys. So Mrs. Levine is trying to get to me she's trying to reconnect and it wasn't allowing her to. So let's see. So let's hear Carrie is what Carrie is saying. Carrie says, and I had no doubt that I would be a great mom. Yes, you're welcome. All right. Okay, welcome back, Mrs. Levine. So Mrs. Levine is back with us. Are you hearing me? Um, can you hear me? Um, she's here, guys, but I'm not hearing her. I don't know if she's able to hear me. Can you hear me? Give me a nod if you can hear me. I don't think she is. Yeah, let me just send her a message, guys. Seeing you not hearing, not hearing. So, okay, guys, we're in the dying moments of this live. I just want her to come back on so that we can have these final dialogues and then wrap it up. Okay, guys, answer in the chat for me. What is the best part of parenthood for you? What is the best part of parenthood for you? What is the best part of parenthood for you? Okay, I'm waiting for you guys to answer me. Let me see in the comment section. Um, okay, nobody has answered. Come on, what's on your mind? Carrie, what's on your mind? What do you think is the best part of parenthood? The conversation so far is a beautiful conversation. It's a conversation that we must have, and it's a conversation that we must have, and I think more of these conversation will help us to get to where we want to get. Okay, I'm not able to. It seems we won't be able to, we're not getting Mrs. Living back. So let's run to, we have two more questions. Let's get through them quickly. And then I'm gonna thank you for joining us for the our chit chat that we've had. So the question that we want to look at now is, what is the most important part of motherhood? And for me, I can't speak any other way because I'm a person of faith. And so I would say the best part of motherhood for me is to be given the opportunity to bear a child, to carry a child, and to nurture that child. To nurture that child in God's way, to become more like God. That is the most important part of motherhood for me. And then our final question that we are going to look at is, what is the best quality of a mother? What is the best quality of a mother? And for me, the best quality of a mother is being Christ like. Number one, after being Christ like, is to be loving, be kind, be patient, because being a mother, it calls for patience. So being kind, being loving, being patient, being Christ like. Those are what does it for me. And then the fact that I know that this child is not mine, but this child was loaned to me by God for me to nourish that child and to bring him up into God's likeness. Like Moses' mother Jochebed only had 12 years with him. But being the Christ like mother that she was, and the teaching that was imparted to Moses, Moses was able to leave his mother's home and went to live in a palace, in the king's palace. But those values that was imparted unto him did not leave him. When he went to the palace, that's what he lived by. And so the onus is on us as mothers that whatever we partake to our children, it is so Christ like, Christ centered, so that it doesn't matter where they go, the life that they live will be one that counts, one that is reflective of Christ. I want to say, in the dying moments of this chit chat session, I want to thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being a part of Beyond Here, where we have these discussions from time to time. I could not have allowed Mother's Day to pass by and not do something on the topic. And so I'm just fortunate Mrs. Levine was not able to join me until the end because of her traveling on the road. And so we understand that. And so thank you guys for joining. Thank you for sharing. And I look forward to come another time where we will have a wonderful discussion. I ask that you will continue to share the live, Share it even after we're finished here so that others will join. Listen to the tit, tip bits and be informed as we seek to become the mothers God has called us to be. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kamoy. Thank you, Carrie, for joining. And I want to say bye bye. See you next time.